Hello there, I'm Chef Johnny, your ultimate beef-loving Texan. And today I have got a fantastic recipe for you. I have 3 different steaks out here, and these are the 3 top tiers of the grading system when they grade beef. I have a prime, a choice, and a select.
If you want to learn more about grading beef, I'm going to put a link below. So look for the link that says Beef Quality Grades. You can head there and learn all the details on how they grade our beef.
Now, I'm going to start seasoning these up. I have got a nice herbed mixture: salt, pepper, garlic, rosemary, thyme, oregano, onion flakes, a lot of different things. Recipe will be at beeflovingtexans.com. But what I'm going to do is I am just going to sprinkle this on them. And then we're going to kind of pat it in, and we're going to go check our fire and see if it's ready to go. I'm going to reverse sear these. For a nice steak, I don't believe there's a better way for the average person to cook a steak. Now, some people will tell you sous vide is better. I'm not sure it is or not. But I think a reverse sear is the way to go on a quality steak. It's worth the time and worth the effort to do a reverse sear. I did chop some of these up a little bit. If you wanted them smaller, put them in your coffee grinder. You could do that and get them a finer. I left them with a little more substance to them, right? And I have some coarse sea salt in here. Kosher salt would work fine. But you can see the different herbs we have. And when I put these on the grill, we're going to keep them in the same order so we don't lose track of them. So we'll know exactly which one is which. But that looks good. If we want to season the edges, you can, right, pat them like that. Everybody knows that trick. We're going to let these sweat out. Let's get this grill over here in place, show you how we have it set up for the reverse sear, and then we're going to get these steaks cooked, and I bet you they are tremendous. Here we go. We're going to get our steaks on. Our pit is not quite to 300. It's about 285, I think. And we're going to put some steaks on there. Again, it's an offset cook, and we have our prime. It's going to go to the back. Then our choice. And then our select. So you can see we have this grill set up in such a way that I have my lump charcoal on this side. I just put in a stick of mesquite over that hardwood lump. So they're going to cook over here, collect some smoke. Then at the end, I'll move them over here and sear them. But let's get this closed up and let these steaks go up to about 125 degrees. We're 20 minutes in. We've been running about that 285 degrees. So I bet you they're about 125 degrees. But they make thermometers that you can leave in them and read while they're in there. I didn't do that today, but let's see here. See 129 right there. And then our choice, that was our select. Here's our choice, 127. Our prime, 114. I told you it might take a little longer to cook. I'm gonna let that stay on there a little bit longer. But guys, get you a good thermometer. If you want to cook a perfect steak, you need a thermometer. And you need a good one. And I got to put these on there in the order that they were on. So, there we go. Let's slide toward the middle. That thicker steak, I'm going to go about 5 minutes. These can be resting. Then we'll get those all 3 seared at the same time. So, see you in about 5-10 minutes. While we're waiting for this last steak to come up to temp, remember, you can find this recipe and others at beeflovingtexans.com. And remember, whether they're grilled, seared, or smoked, beef has a great versatility and it will fit into your menu plans. Been about 5 minutes. We're going to check this last steak, but I bet you it's at 125. Guys, get you a good thermometer. I'm going to tell you the best instant read thermometer you can afford. 124 there. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this. That one's mine, so I don't mind it being a little rare, but we are shooting for a medium rare. But let's get it off. We're going to raise up the temperature in this pit, and then we are going to sear these at the end for our reverse sear process. But now, let's get this open. It says 400 degrees, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. If I could turn this grate over and get it even closer to the fire. Not going to do that, but I am going to get them on here. Oh yeah, you can hear the sear. And some people, they gripe because I use a prod here to get my meat with, and they talk about all the juice I lose. I can tell you what, if those couple of drops of juice cause you to have a dry steak, you're not cooking your steaks right. But you could use tongs if that's what you like. And I'm not a one-turn guy. I'm a turn it as often as you need to kind of guy to get it done. But we're gonna flip them. You can see we got a sear going. I'm gonna close it so we don't get a big flame going. Close it back up. 3 minutes, we'll turn them. All right, 3 minutes. Let's see if we can turn them over. See if we're getting grill marks. Oh, drop that one. Oh yeah, look at that. That one a little more so than these two. This front one didn't get quite the sear. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. And this one is thinner. That's our choice. I'm betting you it needs to get off. Oh yeah. Let me check that select. See where it's at. There we go. The select is ready to come off. Let's check the temperature again on our prime. It's a little thicker. Let's turn this over. Okay, got some nice color on it. It'll be good. We can get it off. All right, it's been 10 minutes, and one thing I want to mention is don't forget the importance of letting a steak rest after you cook it. 10 minutes, good amount of time to wait. I know sometimes you don't want to, but we're gonna let those juices settle, reabsorb back in there. What's happened is that meat got hot, it's tightened up. Well, when it cools off, it starts loosening up. That moisture can go back into those meat cells again. That's what has happened. So we're gonna look. We have select, choice, prime, and we're gonna cut these. I'm gonna go into the main part of the steak first. Let you look at it. And one thing to remember also is, a lot of people don't realize this, steaks will get pinker as they sit. Don't ask me the chemical stuff, right? That's above my pay scale, but these will get a little bit pinker as they sit here. So select, choice. Again, look at the nice moist. We've let them sit. Everything's not running out on the counter. And the prime, which was a little bit thicker. Let's take it. Look at it. That is a pretty steak. Turn it around. There are our 3 steaks. Let's get a good look at each one of those. Gonna cut off just some bites off of each one of these. Right? And I'm cutting off the main part. This is not in the spinalis, right? The really good moist part. But I think that is a pretty, pretty steak. Beautiful, beautiful Texas raised beef. I would say all these are beautifully medium rare. They're cooked right. That is a beautiful, beautiful steak there. Gonna give it a try. That herb seasoning we put on there complements it very well. Let's move on to the choice. Get that piece right there. Give it a try. Again, very good, nice, tender, moist. And for the prime, let's see if this makes a difference of buying a prime steak, guys. One of the old adages is, start with something better, you got a better chance of winding up with something better. This is a great steak. These were good without a doubt. That one, yeah, that's the real deal. Good stuff. These are beautiful steaks. They all tasted wonderful. You couldn't go wrong with any of them. But guys, thanks for stopping by. Remember to stop by the Texas Beef Council, beeflovingtexans.com. All kinds of recipes, nutritional information. They're going to help you have a better understanding and a better ability to cook beef in your household for your friends and your family. So thanks for stopping by. I'm Chef Johnny. Always appreciate you being here. We're going to see y'all down the road. So long, everybody.